Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have yet another strategy showcase. Today we're doing my favorite Fast Fortress Lakota strategy. But before we get into this one, guys, I wouldn't normally ask for this at the beginning of the video, but it is special times, my friends. We're very close to 100 subs, so if you do enjoy strategies and pretty much anything 1v1 multiplayer, Age of Empires 3 based, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean a ton, guys, but let's get into the video here. So as we see here, obviously playing as Lakota against a Chinese player on New England. Whenever you're playing as Lakota, you really got to use your Explorer speed to a big advantage. I know on this map there's plenty of these sheep and stuff around. I already managed to collect one here, so we're going to collect the nearby treasures and go look for those sheep. And at the beginning here, all we're focusing on is our food, as always, making sure we get plenty of hunts in. So pretty much this is a Fast Fortress strategy. So for the age up, we will be going with the 500 food. It just helps us get that Fast Fortress out. In terms of shipments, we're going to be sending in the 4 villages first, and then as soon as we age up, we're going to save our age up for the second age, and send in the 700 coin. Therefore, we already have the 500 coin or 400 coin for the age up, plus the 700 coin coming in. And it's pretty much the freest age up you're going to get. All you need to make sure is, as you're going through to the age up, with many Fast Fortress strategies, is that you have already a stockpile of 300 gold. So we're not going to need to mine too much extra gold here. As you do see, I'm getting lots of sheep herded in. Any kind of herded animals are going to be huge for you when doing this strategy, because that boosts the food, because you can gather them, I believe, at a rate of 2 food per second per villager, which is insane. That's pretty much double your average hunting rates, and that's only without any that's like base, that's without any upgrades. But yeah, so once we get up into the Fast Fortress, this is pretty much a rifle rider strategy. Depending on who you're versing, you may also want to get some bow riders or even some axe riders, but the majority of your army is going to be rifle riders. If you're versing someone such as, like, I'd say like China and Russia, then you generally need to just stick mostly with rifle riders, maybe a bow rider or two if they do end up going any kind of cavalry. But for China, it's majority going to be rifle riders, and actually some, I believe I go axe riders in this one as well, just because the axe riders are really going to help us out, as I am sneakily taking all of his sheep as well. We already have a nice stockpile of 3 sheep here and another one on the way. I was very delayed on this first shipment, but that's because I was focusing on getting this sheep down here, but it works out okay. And in terms of the age up, for this strategy, I like to go 16-ville age up. I find it's just worked the best. I've done this strategy quite a few times, and I rarely lose with it. The biggest weakness to the strategy is if you do get like a big push early on against you. So that's something you really have to be careful against China with, and that's why I do with the age up go for the 500 food, just because it helps you get that age up so much faster. As you see here, just doing a little bit of scouting around the base. I think one thing with all Age of Empires gameplay, and whenever you're playing in ranked especially, is you always want to scout around your opponent's base, just because then you can see all the herds around their base. And you're able to spot, for instance, actually I won't be able to do it yet because there's not enough herds away from the base. Wait, let's see if just for example, let's see if he hasn't scouted our base yet. Okay. Anyways, but you can see on the map, if you've scouted out the area, any herds that are being gathered at the moment, you'll be able to see it. So it's a very good way if you're trying to do any sort of raiding, especially with Lakota. If you get any axe riders, that's going to be crucial. We do manage to get this treasure without too much worry. And try to memorize, especially when doing this strategy, what maps do have the herds and where the herd pattern may be. I believe on New England there's mainly sheep around here, and then there's a few along the trade line, and generally one a little bit in front of each player's base. As we see here, we do have 2 herds of elk near our base, which is really good. And we're at 16 vills. Generally there's a slight delay between your last vill queue and your age up, and I do believe I actually hit the age, no, I hit the age up, okay. And so you're aging up with the elder, which is the 500 food, I do believe. And as you're going for the age up, you want to get some coin mined out The thing I didn't realize about this is I had actually collected enough coin treasures that I didn't need to mine any extra coin. And so I put my vills onto the wood to try to get the tribal marketplace so I could gather the coins. So I did definitely waste some time here. And I think when I was playing this game, I was not with myself. I was very tired and drowsy. I was like, you know what, I want to kind of showcase this strategy. So, but guys, do as I say, not as I do. That is pretty much the golden rule on this channel. You can follow my advice, but just remember, I'm still garbage at the game. And make sure as soon as you are starting to age up, you do want to get some vills in queue, like I do right there. Just so then as soon as you age up, you can queue out some vills. And generally, when you're queuing your vills for the next age up, you're going to have about 2-3 vills you want to queue up, because that's just kind of the time it takes to get this next shipment in. And as you see, we're just saving for this next shipment here. And with our explorer, I'm just sitting on this treasure waiting to gather it, because we will take that in a minute. If we take a look at our opponent, I do believe, because I was playing in ranked, and recently I've dropped rank a fair bit, so this guy was definitely a lower level player. I don't even think he's using his town hall queue properly, but that's fine. It's more just a showcase of the strategy. I find the strategy works against most civs, except if you are coming up against a civ that's very totally, like if you're coming up against Portuguese, you may struggle a little bit with this. You're definitely going to need some sort of siege, whether you decide to get those prowler, what are they called? Let me check. Gotta fact check myself here. Yeah, Tasanuki prowlers, they're very good siege. There's a limit to how many you can get, but if you are versing like a Portuguese player, you may want to get a few of those out just to help your siege stuff down a little bit faster. And yeah, you just need to be adjustable to what kind of units you're using as well. As you see here, I'm still not with myself, and I overgathered a bunch on the coin, but that's just going to help us out later anyways, so that's fine. Most of the time with this strategy, your first age up is going to be a little bit later, but your second age up is going to be pretty instantaneous. As you see, we have the 500 food here, and we are about to send in the 700 coin. If we take a look at what our opponent's doing as well, I believe he had like an extremely late age up. I think it's because he was chopping a ton of wood early on, trying to get these trade posts out. But yeah, we got the coin coming in, we're already gathering up the food. We're going to have enough food quite easily. And at the moment with the explorer, while I'm not really doing anything, I'm just kind of going around and taking out some treasures, getting some free resources. You're going to want to look for wood treasures aren't as important, because we are going to age up with the 800 wood, I do believe it is. So that will allow you to get your 2 barracks up, although, oh, I'm sorry, 2 stables up, because off the age up, you're going to get those 2 stables. If we look at how many sheep we have a solid 5 sheep as well here. So that's really going to help us as we get into the fortress age. We're going to just start getting these sheep, because it's about 115 each, and you're going to gather that really fast. So that's an easy 600-ish food right there that will just boost your eco. And we kind of overgather on food here, but it's because we didn't really have anything to do. But as soon as the shipment comes in, we get all of our vills to just gather that up real quick, and we're going to age up to the next stage here. Once I think we may cancel this vill here, I'm not sure. But yeah, you'll age up with about 18, 19 vills, just depends on what's going on. It'll be slightly different each time, but you'll kind of start to get into a bit of a better routine. This was certainly not one of my best games showcasing this strategy, but all the other games that I had showcasing this strategy, there was an issue with the recording, so unfortunately this is the one we're left with, but it was still a very, very good game, and in the end the strategy worked out quite well. So as you see here, we're putting about 6, 7, 8 onto the coin, and then the rest of these guys are going to be just gathering up that food, because we are aging up with the chief, which gives us a ton of wood. I believe it is 800 wood, so that is plenty of wood to get out 2 stables. We can also get out like a market and get some market upgrades, and then you're generally left with a little bit of extra wood as well. But at the moment, as we're waiting for the age up, you just want to gather up as much coin and as much food as possible, because the units are pretty expensive. I do believe they're 200 total costs per unit. I think it's like 160 or 180. No, 160. I believe it's 160 food, 40 gold. So you're definitely going to want to gather up a bit more food than gold. At the moment, my food was already through the roof, so I was just trying to even it out a little bit. As you see here, we're claiming some nice treasures. Our opponent is only just aging up now, and we're about to age up to the next stage, so that's kind of ironic. With this shipment, I think we save it. Generally, what you can either, if you feel like you need some more herds or hunts to gather, you can send in the 15 bison now. Or if you're a bit worried or whatever, you can always send in one of these shipments. But if you're chilling at the moment, like I was in this game, with no real pressure, I was quite confident with taking my time here, just because I saw he was still in age 1. He only just reaches age 2 as I'm getting close to reaching my next stage. So I decided I'm just going to save it. I can save it for the axe riders or more rifle riders or even prowlers. Against China, generally I would go just, wouldn't worry too much about the siege. If you can just outmass their army, you can generally take most of their buildings out. As you see, they're getting plenty of resources. I think XP treasures are one of the ones that you really want to get as many as you can, just because it'll help you get out all these unit shipments here. This isn't necessarily the exact deck you need to have. I would just recommend having the 4 vills, 700 gold, and then the different unit shipments, the 5 rifle riders, 5 axe riders, and 4 Tanashiki prowlers. Those are definitely must-haves, and as well as the bison. Other than that, you can kind of do what you want, but that's just the foundation to the strategy, and then you can kind of customize the strategy to what works better for you. As you see here, we're also gathering up all of this sheep here, just because we do need that extra food. It will really help us out here. But as soon as we age up, we're going to start gathering up that wood and instantly get out your stables. You can see how the strategy can potentially be not as strong against certain rush civs, but it's a lot on what your opponent is doing. I saw that he had lots of trade posts out, and he was just a little bit slow for his second age up, so I was a little bit more confident in taking my time. But in some of the other games I've done this strategy. I've chopped a little bit of wood just to get the barracks out or stables out early, or I've gone with the faster age up instead. It kind of just depends on what's happening in your game, so it's a very adjustable strategy, but for the most part, you're probably going to win. If you're able to get into Fortress Age and able to mass up units, you're definitely going to win. It just depends on whether you get rushed beforehand. But as you see here, we're getting out the corrals, also known as stables, whatever you want to call them. And in terms of our shipment, we do send in the rifle riders. I have seen some fast industrial strategies that actually worked pretty well with Lakota. And as you can see here, we definitely could have gone industrial if we wanted to. It just depends on what you're looking for. I'm not that confident going fast industrial in a 1v1. So I generally go fast fortress or a rush early on. Just depends on who you're playing, I guess. But instantly we're going to start queuing up some rifle riders. Just get as many out as we can possibly. And the best thing about Lakota is you don't even need to worry about wood after this, because you don't need to get any houses, so you're free just to spam out as many units as possible here. As you see, we're getting this extra coral up just so we can spam out a little bit faster. You can also, if you feel like you need some ground units, some infantry and stuff, you can also set up another war hut, I believe it's called, so you can get out some archers or whatever you feel like you need to counter your opponent's units. But we're just queuing up a ton here. You can see how fast I chewed through that stuff, but that's why you want to just overgather a ton in between age ups, and why you want all of these herds, because I managed to get all that food just because of the herds. Make sure you're also producing bills as always. Some rush strategies and stuff, people stop producing bills, which works for some strategies, doesn't for others. I had plenty of wood spare, so I decided to get the trading post up just to help me get stuff out faster. I do believe I do go with that 5 axe riders just to help me mess up the Chikunukus. And guys, if you didn't know, the rifle riders are ranged cavalry, but they're really good against infantry and artillery. So, and I mean, they're still decent against any sort of cavalry, but they don't have the multipliers and stuff, but you can still kind of micro with them and just move them around a little bit. And generally, once you get your second full queue of 5 out from each barracks, that's when you're wanting to go and attack. Make sure you re-queue all the time, just so you do have that constant flow of units coming out. But once we get these 5 rifle riders in, we're pretty much good to go. And I'm kind of just waiting on this treasure at the moment. I probably could have got it earlier. I was just preoccupied over here. But as you see, we have a mass of 15, about to be 20 rifle riders. And we are starting to collect this treasure here as well, which will give us a nice little bit of food. And we are going to get out some market upgrades as well, just to help us out. As you see here, we got the rifle riders. We got a ton of rifle riders, ton of axe riders, or the 5 axe riders. And from this point, generally I would send in the 4 Tushaniki Prowlers, which I do in the end. And we're moving out here. It's pretty much GG at this point. Like, this guy really didn't prepare. He went for the fast fortress, more of a slow fortress, to be honest. But we're moving in. But as I said, it wasn't the strongest opponent. But yeah, we're about to absolutely destroy this guy's hopes and dreams. Our army will chew through any sort of army he has with ease. As you see there, they're not amazing against cavalry, but they do the job. And the axe riders are great against any sort of skirmisher or any sort of villages, skirmishes, that kind of stuff. And we just fry straight through these guys. And one thing that you always want to keep on doing is make sure that you keep queuing out any sort of keep queuing out your rifle riders, just so you can have that constant flow of rifle riders coming out. Yeah, I don't see much return for this guy. It's pretty done for at this point. This is a strategy as well that I haven't seen much people use either, so I kind of wanted to showcase it. Another one into the series. Comment down below what other strategies you guys want to see as well. I have a few other strategies in mind that I want to try out and show you guys, but this was one of the ones that I've been using a fair bit regularly. It's been quite fun. But you can see just how these guys fry. And there's so many of them. They're actually pretty easy to mass up, just because you just get tons of resources in between ages. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. If we take a look at the post game here, even our eco was on top. GG's to the guy I was versing. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.